Good morning. How's it going? Welcome to the stream. How's it going, everybody? Today on the xsinick show, we're going to jump into some more sculpting in 3D code and some more work in Blender. We also may touch GIMP a little bit, so we'll see where all this takes us with video game content creation. I literally streamed last night, and 3D Dur, I want to shout him out. 3D Dur, he came in and he said hello and hang out with me all last night. It was really awesome. And all we did was just play around with AI tools. I was able to develop a rig so that you can pose AI in Blender. So let me show you guys what that looks like. Okay, here it is. Oh, I forgot to say let's go. But hey, you guys know. So this is the rig in Blender right here. And I have several poses for it. I actually added hands to the rig. I'm not sure if the rig could actually I'm not sure if the hands actually work. Maybe I should have tested that. I think the hands do work because in the rendering, a little loud music here. Let me just drop that down a little bit there, guys. Okay, yeah, that's a lot better. So, yeah, I did hands for it. I would like to do maybe, like a foot, but I think this is fine. Yeah, so the hands. I think the hands work. We could test that out in a minute here. Let me reset the rig. So I have these default poses with the rig. So if I double click on one, I have to have the rig selected. Let me deselect the, make sure that's not selectable. There we go. So if I double click on there, then the rig resets to just standing. I want to test to see if the hands work. It should work. So let's go pose, and I'm gonna pose the arm up. Okay, let's see. Animation. Animation is it's a whole state of being, being able to animate a character in different ways, especially in Blender. I'm gonna reset the camera. Wonder what kind of hand signal we could do. I would like to do something unique. So let's do him pointing up. Just to see if okay. Yep, I'll do him kind of pointing up like that. Select these right here. And give a little rotation on the hand of God. The finger of God. I think that's what Jesus said. Okay, so let's do that. And yeah, it's doing pointing up. Maybe if I bring this across. There we go. Hope you guys can see. Let me turn these names off also. There we go. It's better. Let me get this one finger behind the thumb. You know, cause I now want to do it a little specific. It almost looks like we're posing a skeleton, but it's not a skeleton, guys. Check this out. It's just like a colorful rig. Is this better? You should always choose to display things, you know, with maximum color in here. Okay, I'm gonna pose the camera here. I'm pose the camera. I'm gonna move the camera to where the hand is. So it's a guy pointing up. Oh, you know what? Seeing that we are focusing on the finger, I'm gonna go like that. He's pointing at something in the middle. Pointing at a butterfly. Wouldn't that be a nice thing? Oh, butterfly on the finger. Wow, that would be very cool. So, you know, if you look at the description for a lot of our videos, you would see that I do have, you know, AI as a thing in there. Okay, so that's the pose right here. And I'm gonna just angle this so that, you know, it's nice, clear. I'm trying to make it as clear and free as possible. And that's the finger. If we were doing like drawing, I would like bend the finger a little bit like that, just to show that it's really extended out. But you could do this also so that you kind of make, it's kind of making a perch for the butterfly. So let's do that. And let's bring the rest of the fingers in a bit. Yeah, so, you know, learning how to pose a skeleton, an armature into different poses, I think it's a good first base for learning how to do animation in Blender or any other 3D app, whether you're using Maya or Houdini. I would love to do Houdini here on the channel. If anybody out there likes Houdini, please let me know if Houdini is a thing that you would like to see me cover on the stream. It'll basically be me learning Houdini, so we'll learn together. Okay, so we have kind of like a finger pose here. I just want to break some of the fingers by abnormally rotating it. Maybe that's a thing we do too, right? Man, where's my list? Maybe we should learn how to limit the rotation of bones in posing and all that sort of stuff, so we don't, I mean, it helps to kind of unnaturally, you know, rotate things and that kind of thing, but I think it would be also a good thing to know how to limit the bone so, you know, it's a little more natural. I just really want that finger to stick out. I'm just gonna really bending these guys in. Okay, there you go. So that's the guy pointing like that. So let's do a render of that. I'm gonna do a render. Oh, why did it render like this? Isn't that weird? Let's make sure I'm hitting. Oh no, you know what happened, guys? No, I didn't keyframe it. Da 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 da. Okay, let's keyframe it. I got it back. Let's keyframe this. We gotta make a new action, guys. Whenever we do a pose, just make a new action off of it. That was close. We could have lost everything. Okay, I'm gonna have to overwrite this. Pose. Let me see if I could copy and paste. Yeah, boy, Blender. Okay, let's go. Okay, I'll do this called point. Point up. Point up pose. Okay. Okay, so we're pointing up. And we can see this is the angle I'm doing. Now let's go ahead and save this. You could come here under actions and you could save this as an asset. Let's go ahead and do that. Make as asset. All right, so this is it here. This is the guy pointing up. Save that. Oh, we don't point up pose 0, 1. Okay, let's get it out. Okay, that's okay. I'll be right back, guys. Give me a sec. Okay, I had to stop. My kettle was boiling, guys. You know, don't mean to step away, but hey, that's what happens. Okay, so so check this out. So you got this guy pointing up pose. Let's do a render on that. There we go. So I'm gonna go ahead, save as. Okay, let's call this point pose. Pointing up. Or we can just do point up, you know. Let's keep the file name short as possible. Point up pose. Okay. Okay, here we go. Save this file, and let's just reset this guy while we have him. Okay, so we reset him back to the default pose. Oh, we didn't have the fingers. So his fingers is pointing. It's all good. I wonder if we can copy in. No. Paste pose. That's interesting. Huh, you could paste poses. I think at the time I didn't have his fingers. I'll do that later. Let's check out. Let's see what's up. I still have to wait a little bit before I can get a file to you guys, but you know, we're there. I just deleted all the keyframes off of the camera. Okay, I had to fix it a little bit. Alright, so yeah, I'm gonna open Comfy UI and let's just see if that pointing thing works. We're gonna load the new file here. Okay, there's a point up pose. That's so cool. Let's see if it has that. If it gets the hands, and if it has the hands, that'd be amazing. But we got to hint at it a little bit here. Okay. Boxing girl with pink hair. Okay, guy with pink hair. Let's just go a regular guy. It's orange. Let's put gradient. Fade to green. Let's go fade to blue. Blue with a halo. Halo with glow. Yellow neon. I'll put neon. Wearing a silver metallic tracksuit, long caution. Okay, scarf, blah blah. What is he doing? So this is what he's doing is standing, right? So we want to do pointing up. Pointing up. With his finger. Alright, and then put a butterfly on finger. What kind of butterfly? We could specify. I put monarch. I think that's how you spell it. Monarch. I put a monarch butterfly on his finger. Happy in, I put in garden environment. You want to make sure that the guy is happy. Yeah, oh, let's just leave happy in garden environment. That I think that works. Flowers, wind, petals in wind. We have some wind here. Wearing high top track shoes. How about high top sneakers? That'll work. High top sneakers. Made of light. And how about we put lightning? See if we get some electricity, light electricity. Oh, this is gonna be a weird image if we could get it. Okay, so that's my prompt. I'm gonna save this because it's very descriptive. Okay, I'm gonna do the camera angle. View angle looking from above down. See if that works. Okay, let's see if this works. I feel like to do more detail finger. Let's do a detail. Let's do another detail pass on this. Let's put detail hands. Okay, and there's a couple other tricks. I'm gonna do one of the tricks. It's called score, so that you tell it you want the best images. So this will score. Let's go underscore. Let's go score 5. No, let's go score 6. 6 up. And let's do score 9. Okay, score 9, score 6 up. Okay, let's see what we got. Okay, it's gonna load all that, and I'm gonna go over here so that you guys can see where the progress is, how the progress is doing. So this should yield a pretty nice result. All right, so remember this is the thing. So we're gonna bring this over to see how closely it's gonna pose the character to our Blender image right here. So we've tested this last night and it definitely works. So Control net. So that's what it is. So this is the control net setup. I could show you guys real quick while this is going. So the control net setup is where we have this. You could have a control net posing model like this online. I'll turn the volume down a bit. Yeah, you can have a control net posing model like this online. So there's different sites that allow you to be able to pose and control, you know, get like an image like this. When you get an image like this, you have to, I'm using Comfy UI, Stable Diffusion, and in here you can get to load that image in, and I'm doing like a crop because I want it to be in a cinematic aspect ratio, and that's what these things are here. And then over here it goes into control net, the control net parameters right here, and I put the strength of the control net up to 2, so it's twice times as strong, so it really wants to adhere to it. And then also I put up the CFG scale to 8 just to have it really follow. You could turn it up even higher if that works. And I have a couple some prompts. I have a positive prompt, I colored it green, and I have a negative prompt about things I don't want, color that red. And then I have a Laura. Laura is like a style, it's like a style model. So I'm passing through a style model of a person, a certain artist, like what looks like their style. And then there is another Laura with another just illustrative style. And then this here is clip skipping. And I went straight to clip 2. That's something that some models require. And then I have a checkpoint here, which is an illustrious checkpoint. It's a main stable diffusion model that focuses more on illustrative type work, which is what we do here, you know that, guys. So let's take a look at what it did. Wow, that's what it did, guys. It totally took. This is awesome. I like the way it looked. Let's see. Let's put the thing back here. Yeah, it totally did the. Yeah, it totally took the pose and it made this image. Let's open the image up. That looks beautiful. That looks really nice. Now it didn't do it exactly, you know. And where it's doing it exactly, it's kind of like the fingers are a little wonky, but look, it kind of still, it tried to get the general gist of what is going on here, you know, and put it there. Because some models, they don't like being controlled by control net, so you gotta, like, you know, find one that's really responsive to it. So yeah, let's see what these images look like real quick before I gotta take a little break, guys. So let's take a look right here. Comfy UI, and then you go into output, and yeah, this is a bunch of images we did before. Wow, that is so cool. All right, because I'm doing a cinematic aspect ratio, I'm getting like a little bit of cutoff. All right, just so you guys see it real clear. Wow, and I had electricity in there, so let's I'm gonna plug it in without any kind of cinematic aspect ratio, so we could probably try to see if we could get the full image. I'm gonna make a duplicate of this. I'm gonna put the regular image size in there, 768 by 77, and we're gonna do one more render, and then we'll take a little break. I'm gonna plug this directly in here, so there's no skewing of that. And let's plug this. Oh yeah, so we already plugged in the cinematic aspect, the regular aspect ratio. So we should get back, you know, the exact framing, but it will be a square. When I say cinematic aspect ratio, I'm talking about a widescreen aspect ratio that will fit most monitors. Okay, guys. You know, while that's rendering, I'm gonna switch over to the Wacom so that you guys could see these things up close. I like that one. Yeah, these are some that we did last night. A guy running through a field, through a garden. Look very anime-like, right? But we all this is being posed in Blender, right there. Okay, we got better results, guys. Let's take a look. Okay, here we go. Wow, look at that. That's amazing. So this one took the Blender pose a lot better because of the aspect ratio was all correct and everything. So let's go over there and really see which one landed it. So yeah, you see his finger here. The monarch butterfly on his hand. But this over here, I said on the finger. This one is close on his finger. This one's kind of close. And he has a halo, which is what we have in the prompt. And there's some electricity happening. And I like the silver, the silver outfit. And then this is your yellow scarf. Very awesome. It totally took it. Let's see. This is the full screen version of what we just saw. Okay guys, so what I'm gonna do here, right? So not all the AI stuff we did last night came out this beautiful. This is to do we have blue here somewhere here? I said orange gradient feed to blue here. We could make that stronger. I could just do this. Okay, when you put things in brackets, it makes it stronger. Okay, so I'm going to take a little break, and we'll be right back. I'll see you guys in a second.
Why didn't I flinch? Because the laws of science differ fundamentally from those of...
Hey, Mr. Potato, how's it going? Hello, I didn't want to leave you. I was just going to step out for like 2 seconds. So if you want to hang on, I'll be here all day on the stream. Not all day, but I'll be here on the stream. I just need to step out for 2 seconds. You know, we are doing stuff in Blender, and we're doing stuff in 3D code, and I was just showing some stuff with AI, and I'm going to put an AI model out there. You can wait? That's great. Okay, I'll be right back, okay? I'll be right back.
So why didn't I flinch? Because the laws of science differ fundamentally from those of...
Hey, hang on, you guys. I'll be right back. Alright, you guys, I'll be right back. on, you guys. I'll be right back. Hey, hang on, you guys. I'll be right back.
Drawing on paper with pens and pencils. Draw the thing.
Okay, guys, I'm back. Whoa, Mr. Potato's gone. I didn't think he would stick around. But if you're the Mr. Potato, thanks for hanging around for as long as you could have. Yeah, I know it's been like 20 something minutes, guys. That's why I put a timer on there, just to see how long I'm away and to make sure and try to hurry back, just in case. Yeah, but because of the situation, I can either have no stream, or I could stream and just sometimes you know have take these breaks sometimes, because there's actual real world things that I got to do that are very important. So I was like, Nick, maybe I should just end the stream and just have no stream. But then some part of me was like, you know what, I'll stream, and if anything comes up, I'll just go ahead and just excuse myself for like 2 seconds, and I'll come right back. That's the choice I had to make. So I rather some stream is better than no stream. But anyways, guys, yeah, let's continue. Let's do some work in Blender. So this was Comfy UI, and we use the pose in Blender, just in case if let me just reiterate that there. So this is a posed character, and he's going to be available. This guy's available for anyone to use in Blender, and there's a bunch of poses on it. So if you select the bone, double click one of these poses, what is this? Oh yeah, this looks like kind of like a run jump type thing. So you could do something like this, and then when you render this image right here, you could drop it in the AI. And yeah, we got to work it in Blender, guys. Yo. And I know there's somebody that has another plugin in Blender if you're interested in generating images, where you could just do a pose in Blender like this, and then just hit render, and it'll use the AI to render it rather than Blender's regular renderer. So, I'm not there yet, but we got what we got. Anyways, let's jump back into some 3D work in Blender. So the last time we were creating a spoon in Blender, and I think I'm gonna leave that off for a minute. I'm not gonna create a spoon right now. We started to kind of use photogrammetry to trace the spoon out. Let's take a look at what that looks like here. Open recent spoon. Okay, here it is. So it's kind of like this image of a spoon. Maybe I could turn the background image up a little bit more. Let's see, where's the background image in Blender again? I'm thinking it should be somewhere in here. Hold on. View. Oh, maybe not. Anywho's, yeah, I'll find that. Anyway, this is a background image, as you can see. Let's go full screen at this. Yeah. Of a spoon, and we started to trace this out. We use photogrammetry to place the camera in the right view, and we started doing the spoon. But also, when you're doing photogrammetry, if you're doing a real, it's always kind of skewed. So let's go to the top view of the spoon. So this is the spoon part here, and this is the handle part. And I'm thinking the spoon part should be a lot bigger, and it could be nicer. And we could actually use when you're doing this kind of modeling, you could actually use a real spoon that you get at home and work on it. So there's a lot of modeling that has to happen to make the spoon more like this, right? So we need more edge loops. Let's just drop an edge loop in here. Bring the edge loop up to there, and then once you do that, you have to come in and you have to adjust these points like so. Right, so that you start to get like that scooped deepness in there. And then also you could take a look on the side view and then go into wireframe. So modeling, if you're in Blender and you're like, man, I want to learn how to model really good in Blender, there's a bunch of different techniques to do that. Normally when you look at other people's YouTube channels, there's a lot of really good modelers out there, right? People can model really quickly. But the thing is, and they show their process, right? And it helps a lot of people. But does it help you though? If it doesn't, then you're in the right place. This show right here, you understand, and our community and Discord and everything like that. We're here for anyone that, wants to try a different way. right? There should always be another way to do something. There's more than one way to do something, actually. Right? Put that back here. Yeah, so you know, we start, you know, working on the spoon, and the spoon kind of has an edge, and once we kind of do this, because if you look at it, it's kind of flat here. But once we start to work on it, then we could add like a thickness modifier, and then we could actually go in and start doing more modeling on it, and like go to town. We could go to town on the spoon, right? We could really go to town. And there's like this little padded kind of brooch thing on there, and then there's like all these relief patterns on it, which we could use sculpting for. Woo! This is gonna be fun. So let's go. I'm gonna leave this off for another day, where I could stream maybe just this by itself, right? I took probably like a 24, almost a 30 minute break just now, so we're not gonna do this right now, right? What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna jump back into the inside of the mech suit that we were modeling. Right, so I'm gonna let's load up the version of it in Blender, and then we're gonna look at like what we have in 3D Code. So let's do that now. Suit interior. Da, 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 da. Whoa! Look at this thing. Okay, this is what we got. This is what we exported to 3D Code. So I'm gonna put this over to the side so we could kind of see the difference. Oh, you know what, guys? Let's close this comfy UI stuff. We know that Blender works with it now, right? We know that. It's not perfect, but it's good enough. Okay, and this here is Blender. All right, so let's launch 3D Code. Oh, just in case if anybody was wondering out there, we have like I'm doing a whole bunch of these AI images for ideas that's going to be on our Discord, right? So let me show you what that is. So there's things like this. Oh, ooh. Like this image right here. Let's go. Where are we? Discord. Okay, so if we go to Discord here, let's go full screen. If you look to the right here, let me see if I have my zoom. Xsinick, do I have my zoom? Oh yeah, let's go. So there's a channel. There's a bunch of channels on our Discord where most of us live. I'm just joking. You know, everybody lives here on the show, right? So we have open chat. We have share your interest. We have share your music. We have all things 3D, and these are different channels on here, different chat rooms. Share your art, all things 2D. Share something funny if you have anything funny, like our new Be Right Back image of the guy getting like a ball in his face. All right, so and then we have natural health. You know, that's kind of useful for anybody that's into trying to get healthier. And then we have AI ideas. Now I made this adults only, just because, you know, when you don't know what the result from AI is going to be, right? So we're going to try to edit that on here, but just to be safe, we don't want anyone who's too young to view anything too scary or anything that might hint at any kind of sexual, anything like that. So I just put it so that it's 18 years and over. But this is it, guys. So anything that anyone like yourself, if you are dabbling with generative images or anything like that, and you want to upload an image on our site, you know, or you want to post to this you know, to this chat here, you know, feel free to do it, right? Just please keep it as clean as possible and interesting as possible. We want it very interesting, like, you know, like this kind of thing. Like this is something I did because I had an idea of an emerald sword that emits light, and this AI model totally generated it. So I have it there as an idea for something later, right? Something that we could draw or something that we could create in 3D later. Look at this one. This is a cat with electricity. A giant cat too. You know, this cat wants his kibbles and bits, right? And Yeah, and then we have a lady here that kind of looks like an ice crystal type, or just like a crystal. And there's another lady. So you see, it starts to get a little, you know, a little sexy, right? So we just want to kind of watch that. Well, then here, you know, look at this. This is so cool. This sword is like absolutely amazing. Look at that. And they're in a garden, and there's a big dragon because she's going to slay the dragon. You know, look at this dragon coming up and going to slay that dragon. Yeah, we don't want there's 2 dragons in here / dinosaurs. You guys seen those videos. Yeah, so you have these dinosaurs here, right? And we got another one here, right? It's coming up. And so funny that the AI figured out that some dinosaurs or dragons actually have this kind of little tendril thing that comes from its nose. Like, a lot of people don't realize that, but in old medieval paintings, they always show the nose of the dinosaur with like some sort of like slight appendage to it. Right here again. Yeah, this one is pretty nifty. Yeah, some of these get a little scary. His face is a little scary there. And here we have Jesus slaying Satan, the great dragon, in the garden. Right? That's kind of like my idea. Or a king, if you want to see it as a, you know, but Jesus is a king anyway. So, anyways, guys. So yeah, so, you know, I have some more to upload, which is these kinds of things, right? So, and I'm gonna put a bunch up there. So if you're into looking at that stuff and it's gonna inspire you to do stuff, you know, it's gonna be up there. You know. I'm just going to. Yeah, some of these are nuts. You know, some of these are pretty cool. Like this one is kind of cool. You know. Anyways, let's. Oh, and then we start to get into the closer ones. Look at this. That is awesome. This should, if this was an anime, I mean, people would be like screaming for it. It would be awesome, right? Alright guys, so that's enough for that. God is good. Let's load up 3D code real quick. I'm torn between actual work and making tutorials, right? You know, I think I'll continue to try to make tutorials while I do actual work, which is hard. But, you know, hey, you know, you guys shouldn't be burdened by that. You just have to let me know what you want to see. Let's go. Okay, so this is loading. All right, here we go. I'm going to put this on the side. There we are. That's cool, ain't it? Let's go tab. Okay, tab. Oh, I want a quick pick. Quick pick. Okay, there we go. All right. So if we hide that, oh, now we can see stuff. Okay, let me zoom out of this. Okay, so this is what I'm doing here. So we totally sculpted this in Blender, right? So this is the sculpt that you're seeing in Blender, right? We made a model. We made a 3D model. It's not all sculpting. It's also 3D models also, right? Polygon model. I'll see if I can show you guys a polygon model of this. Right? So this is the polygon model we did, right? We just we start slapping different shapes together, and we model this in one of the streams. Right? It's a polygon model here. Right? And we did half of it. Alright, and this is the interior of a mech. I'll show you what that looks like. Oh, wait a minute, I don't have it because this is all interiors. But anyways, there's an outer shell of this, and I want to make sure the interior looks pretty cool, right? So then, what I did, I'm gonna go ahead and hide that. So what I did was to take that, and you know, using the sculpting tools in Blender, started to sculpt more detail in here about what the inside of this is going to look like. Right? There's more you know, apparatus and more modeling and more models that goes into the interior of this. But I don't want to overdo it because in playing the game, you mightn't see the interior a whole lot. So, but still, you know, you want to make sure whatever you do is somewhat, you know, you want to get your ideas down, right? So let's see here. Front controls, let's see. Back control modules. So there's, you know, there's other pieces that you're not seeing, like these pieces that goes into the interior of this, right? I'm gonna hide those. Right, so then I took this and I made that like as a solid block. So it almost looks like a cast. It almost looks like something you'd use to 3D print. You could probably 3D print this, you know, as like a mold, right? Like a positive mold or negative mold or whatever they call it. I think this is a positive mold. No, yeah, whatever. So then then we have this. Then I took this into 3D Code only because 3D Code has a lot more flexibility in certain aspects of modeling. Now you could do all of the modeling that we do in 3D Code in Blender, but it takes more thought and, you know, it takes a lot more care. And guys, you know, I'm not thinking a whole lot these days, right? So let's close Blender here. You know, I'm trying not to. I mean, I think the stream comes across probably a little too technical for some people. So I'm trying my best to kind of make it regular so that anyone could follow. So here we go. We have this part, and I'll show you. This is the part that I gotta do. You know, I gotta touch up, right? So this is strictly from Blender, and I gotta go in and add details. I'll show you what the details look like. So if you look at the part before, this is what the final detailed part here would look like. See, with all these things and all this apparatus, and I'll show you the other one before it. See here. So this is a lot more detailed than what we have in Blender, and only because I'm doing it in here. Even that thing there is nice and square. I'm doing it in here because one, I have the program 3D Code, and two, to do certain things in 3D Code is trivial, and I don't have to think about the mesh stretching underneath or anything like that. We just have to do it, and then after we do it, then we just do a nice light retopo. I'm thinking about retoping it in Blender just because, you know, Blender has some really nice retopoing tools and add-ons, and some of them are free, some of them are paid. Even the free ones are pretty nice. 3D Code does retopo excellent, and you know, it's just a matter of just keeping the tools together and just moving. Once you have the tools, you just move forward really quickly. Anyways, let's do this one part here and see where we go from here. So I'm gonna press F to bring focus on. Oh, yeah, F to bring focus on just this part. There we go. I'm gonna hide all the other parts for now, and I'm gonna clean this up and get it ready for some detailing. Off to the left here, I have a preset toolbar that I made. Actually, I want to put this on the Wacom, so let's do that. I'll put it on the Wacom here. And let me bring the Wacom up here on the. Okay, this is Soul 3000 development, guys. Okay, here we are. All right, so there we are. Bam, ready to go. Okay, so I want to clean this up a little bit. So I'm going to use a flatten tool to kind of flatten all these kind of sharp edges where it's going to meet with the other machine parts. I'm just going to press F to focus that a little bit nicer. Press S to make sure my symmetry is on. Oh, you see, enable symmetry. It's a good thing I did that. Let's remove the symmetry plane and stick that flatten brush. I'm going to make the flatten a little smaller. And I am going to Okay, so I'm getting some kind of wobbly things here. Let me just, I don't know why that is. Oh, okay, I see what's going on. Oh, why is that doing that? Okay, let's make the brush size a little smaller. And just in case if anybody watching out there, this is a Christian game, right? So this is a game. I'm just trying to do something a little bit different, and you know, with the art and all that, you know, trying to make it I would consider it a Christian game. And when I say Christian game, I mean a game that kind of shows some, you know, Christian elements in here, right? But I think also it's a fantasy game also, right? Because it's not based on reality. At least not our reality. Well, it you know what? I'm totally wrong. It's totally based on our reality, but an alternate view of it. But it will still be considered fantasy because these things don't exist as yet in the world. You know, like nobody has a mech suit right now. So funny how fantasy could become reality so easily. Oh, look what it did there. I have a feeling I might need like an actual brush for this. That's what's going on. So I'm gonna bring in an actual brush for it rather than using that line tool. I'm just gonna brush it. Yeah, I think I should have done that from the beginning. Why didn't I do that, guys? Come on. This is so much better. The line is good but for this edge here, because the edge is so razor thin, and we're trying to get rid of that razor thin edge. Okay, so there we go. We kind of got rid of it. All right. Let me see if I can run this, because I have the brush now, if I can run it over and make these a little bit better. Okay, yeah, there we go. There we go. You know, let's get the whole side over here. I think that'll work. Okay, that right there definitely was like a hand elbow stroke. Okay, so I think this may be ready for us to, try to fix up a little bit more. So let's go ahead and I'm going to use a seams brush. And the first thing I normally try to do is to draw a seam around everything, but I'm gonna just reveal the top part here. Yeah, we're definitely gonna draw a seam around these parts. Okay, so let's see here. I want my radius to be 3. Okay, and the depth to be 40. This should do it. Let's start over here. Just draw that seam. Oh, this seam is like active. Hold on. I didn't realize what tool I had. Okay, I'm not liking this tool. Let's go back. This brush, I mean, hold on. Yeah, this brush is wacky. Okay, so and it's not getting as deep as it should. Like sometimes I encounter that problem here, but let's see if we could do uniform space on this. Okay. Let's go a little deeper then. I don't know why it's not. Probably it wants to go like 60. And then let's pick the right tool there. Okay, there we are. Yes, this is it. Let's go. Uh-oh. Is this being applied? I think I double click by accident. Yep, yes I did. Control Z. No. Okay guys, I'm sorry. You gotta be careful with this thing. Okay. I double clicked by accident. So if you double click, it confirms it. There may be a way to get rid of that. I'll just do this really quickly. I know what I have to do now, so don't, we're not going to take that, The path traveled twice, we're traveling it faster. Something like that. There we are. It's better. Okay. Okay, so that's looking a lot better. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna apply this. Just let that, you know, drag the brush along here. Oh no, why is my depth? My depth is 160. Why is it doing this stuff? You know, what? Yeah, look at that. It's gonna like completely annihilate it. Okay, hold on. Control Z. Okay. It's what? It's supposed to be 60. Okay, that's better. A radius. Radius is supposed to be 3. Okay, here we go. Let's try it again. Apply. Now with this is back to where we should have been. Yes. Very good. I'm gonna use this other brush here. It's like a pinch, and I'm gonna use the pinch to kind of make the seam a little neater. Let's see if we could do that. Okay, so we have the same path that we made on the sculpt. Apply with this new brush, and it should make that seam a little bit neater. Yes, it did. Yes, it did, guys. You see that? So let's go over to this thing here. There you go. Let me get rid of let's clear this. Yeah, there you go. It made a seam around here, and it's nice and clean. Okay, so what else can we do? Well, we could start to, you know, like work on the cushion here. So we could do that. Okay. So the cushion is made with the same seams brush. I'm going to keep it with these values, and I'm going to go over here and select the straight line tool here. I'm just gonna impromptu, just kind of drag that across there like this, drag that across there like that. Hold on here. Hold on. Let's do that again. Whoa, why is this acting like this? Hold on. Does it want the brush to be a little bit bigger? I noticed 3 works better. Let's go to 40. This should be the new seams tool right here. I'm gonna just rotate this a bit so I could see where I'm going. Okay, this is a much better version of that tool. I'm gonna save this so that we can always get back to this setting. Let's do that. I'm gonna come here, right click, save presets. Right click, add preset. It added it on top. It's called Vox Pinch, and I'm going to call it seams. I'm going to get rid of this one. Yes, delete that preset and let's just see if we can rename this box bench, and I'll call this seams. There we go. Bring this back down here. Okay, we got a good seams brush now. Alright, so okay, we gotta like separate like where this cushion is happening. So I'm gonna come back here. Rotate so we can see a little bit better. I don't like that edge there, so I'm gonna get rid of that. Okay. Okay, so that's there. Okay, so this is kind of like the cushion, and then remember that pinch. Okay. Okay, so this is the end of the cushion era. I feel like to run this seams brush again. Okay, let's leave this way. Okay, so there's another brush that I use to make up the rest of the interior, and that's I call it the build up brush, and I use it for paneling. So let's go ahead and let's see if we can get some paneling happening. Okay, let's split this up into like two pieces, this side part here. It's like the pinch brush is doing something slightly different. There you go. Okay, that's good enough. No, would anybody notice the difference? I guess so. Let's see. Would anybody notice the difference in what we're doing today? Okay. We're getting there. We're getting there, guys. Here we are, guys. Just working on this stuff. Okay, I got one more thing to do. I gotta lay down. I gotta lay down these little dot elements, so I'll go ahead and do that. Okay, let's go ahead and lay down those little elements. I think I use a build-up tool, and I come in here and I choose an alpha, which is like a circle alpha, and then I come in here and choose this place tool, and then I invert that tool, and oh, what? Here we go. Switched over to the no, how would that switched over? Okay, let's get this back again. Okay, there we go. Invert the tool. Okay, here we go. I'm just gonna make this small circle. Put some smoothing on that. Oops. Okay. Oh my gosh, no wonder the depth was like 100 and something. I was like, why is this thing getting so deep? Okay, because when I see what's happening. So when I'm scaling it, it's adjusting by accident. My bad. These are some of the things that you might encounter, guys. It's like, you know, no software is perfect. There we go. Yeah, it keeps going back to that fill tool. That's not what we want. Build up. Here we go. Back in action. Okay. Let's invert it. That's much better. Okay, so that's it there, guys. Finally got the inside, that inside piece there, detailed up. At least, to some decent point. I feel like maybe this part here should need something, maybe. Okay, let's leave that like that. Come in here, I just want to get this one more time. Okay, that's it. All right, so we got the interior of this mech thing happening. It's very cool, you know. Well, I think it's cool, you know. I hope you guys think it is too. Well, you know what? We still have the legs, but we don't have to do this here in this. We don't have to do that in this stream here. You know, I could do that outside the stream, but I thought I would get up to at least this point where where the girl could sit into it. You know, I think it's looking pretty nice. Let's go ahead and save this. And there's more, right? There's more parts to this model here. There's at least two more parts, right? This part here and that part here. And then after I do this part, then I got to do the front part, right? So that's what happens, guys. Like, you know, sometimes if you're working in a big game studio, sometimes this is a thing that you're only going to work on for that entire game. So the artist who's, or maybe this and maybe one or two other things, and that artist, you know, is gonna, especially for movies, sometimes movies probably even more so, you know, they're gonna like devote a lot of time into making this, you know, their signature piece for that movie or for that game. Okay, I think it's looking pretty snazzy. We're almost done. Just gotta do these last two pieces. So with that, I'm gonna zoom out of here for a minute. Let's go ahead and save, file save. 3D code, guys. You know, you could download 3D code for free and you could test it out, see if it's something that you like. It's a good ZBrush alternative. It's cheaper than ZBrush. And I encourage everyone that watches me to not use crack or pirated software. Definitely, you know, save your money up and buy the software that, you know, is affordable and reasonable. That's why I promote 3D Code personally, because I think it's cool and, you know, it's a good ZBrush alternative. Better than all of that if you don't have any money at all and you're just a kid and you're trying to, like, you know, learn this stuff. Of course, there's Blender, right? That's what we do here. We use Blender. Okay, let's go to my desktop. Okay, so I'm gonna go here and save this out, and I'm gonna fire up Blender. And this do some tinkering in Blender. Let's save that again. Oh man, saving. What is going on with this thing? Is it not saving? Okay, file, exit. Yeah, what is it? I'm saving it like umpteen times. Oh, you know what? It's auto save, that's why. Okay, that's why, guys, my bad. Save as. Oh, what's going on? Hold on. File, save as. There we go. I don't know. That wasn't popping up. That's very strange. Anyways, let's go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and save this. Work files, 3D code assets, and heroes. Modify. Oh, we have to go into Karen. Wait a minute. It's supposed to be a suits. Okay, there we go. That's better. Okay, bot suit interior. Save. Replace. And I'm gonna do a backup here real quick. Okay, I'm gonna do underscore back for this. Alright, I just thought of something here. Okay, onto some Blender tinkering. So, some time back, I was working on a character for my friend Jerome. I'm going to take a look at that character right now. The character name is McConan. And you guys, may have seen some video of me working on that. And that was strictly polygon model in Blender. I intend to keep it in Blender and keep working and getting it to a point where my friend could use it for like animation and for toys and stuff like that. So let's see. But all of the toy part, we might do 3D code for that, because 3D code literally has like joint and socket tool to make toys, believe it or not, and you could 3D print straight from it. It's amazing. Anyways, yeah, we're in Blender. Okay, so let's see here. We're going into let's look for that project. So let's see, projects. Okay. Actually, work drive. Here we go. Work projects. Jerome McConan. Base model, McConan polygon model, and polygon model back. So let's look at the base poly model. And that's pretty low. Let's take a look. Oh, okay. So this was his head. Look at that, guys. Wow. We did this in Blender, and I think I used an image of McConan to get that head model in here. Let's go back to another model. I should rename that to, it's a base model head. Anyways, let's look at this here. So this should be the full thing. Yeah, boy. So this is what we got so far. So we have like more work to do on this guy, but we got all the basic things done, right? We got his shoes, his pants, basic shirt. We got basic like eyebrows, kind of like basic hairstyle, because he has like an afro, like a curly afro, and we got his basic body, his chest, and all that sort of stuff. So this is the full McConan model. Let's hide that. I see these other things here. I want to see what they are. Okay, so apparently I was using this to head. Okay, some of these are empty. McConan animation. Oh, you know what, guys? We actually had him animated. We just took this raw model, like what we had here, we animated him. Wow, I didn't realize we got that far with him. Let's take a look here. Let's see what is this animation about? He's running. Literally, we had him animated. Did not know that. So I guess we got a texture paint him? Is that where I left off? He's running and turning. Is that what this is? A random color with this. Wow, I can't believe we had something like this already. So this is probably, I took the model and dropped it in Miximo. Most likely that's what we're seeing here. Oh, is this gonna work? Oh, I didn't know if that would have worked. It's turning. Wow, look what it did to turn. That's so cool. Let's take a look at that. You say McConan. Okay, so yeah, we did have an animation of him running and all that sort of stuff. So we got to work on the textures and further embellish him some more. So that's probably where we left off. So maybe that's something that we do if you're into character modeling, character animation, and yeah, I think that's something that'll be pretty nice to do. Let's go back into regular work mode here in Blender. Material theme. And we had matte caps in here also. So we had studio lighting. If I go into a matte cap, we have him in a matte cap here. Okay, so I'm gonna hide that for now. So okay, so the folder is somewhat organized. So this is the full model, right? And yeah, let's totally get it. Let's totally get into. Let's get back into Makonnen, and I'm gonna get back into working on him. Yeah, let's get back into working on him, and you know, so we could get my friend's model realized in real life. Right, we could get us done. We got to get the t-shirt happening. And we got to get his outfit happening. So that's going to be interesting, and continue to bring it to a point where we can texture it and then, you know, do all kinds of animation with this. Right, we did all this on the channel, guys. We did 3D modeling of this character on here, and we're going to continue. So I'm just going to look at that folder real quick. Let's look at the folder where Makonnen lives. So part of it too is you gotta keep organized files, right? I don't have all the answers, guys. I just, you know, try to work with what I got, you know, and you should too. You know, start from where you are. Like, you might not have a Wacom to draw like I do, or to sculpt, but you can use your mouse. I mean, I used my mouse for so many years professionally too. Like, it wasn't even funny until like my wrist had enough and I was like, I have to get a pen tablet, you know? But if your wrist hasn't had enough, you know, you could use your mouse. Whoa, my friend gave me a whole bunch of different things. This is his art style. Maps. I like maps. Would you guys be opposed to having a GIS stream to do with maps and modeling GIS in 3D? If you are down with that and you're a professional in that, or you want to see what that looks like, or anything like that, leave me a comment. Leave me a comment. Leave me a suggestion in YouTube. Leave me a comment on Discord, or here on Twitch. There's a suggestion box. Put that as a suggestion. Hey, xsinick, can you do you know, like some GIS, you know, global information system modeling using Blender, or just on Linux? You know, what tools would you use? You know, I got some tools. I've been looking it up. You guys let me know. And it all comes down to like really nice maps. I love maps, love doing GIS. It was so much fun when I worked at a company called Bergman, which was an architectural engineering firm. It was so much fun, guys. And you know, it's pretty serious also, but you know, I really liked it. Anyway, so here we go. Yeah, so these are some of the characters for his book, and it's very cool. And let's see here. So yeah, so I got some extra like images, so I could like kind of have an idea of how to go about making his sandals, because I don't think Jerome his style is nice, but it's very abstract. And sometimes when you're doing 3D, you need to know exactly where the straps lay and where things lace up and that kind of thing. Yeah, this is okay, so this would be the shirt that we have to design for him. Right, so that'll be a polygon modeling thing. So always on top of this. Let's see if we could yeah, this would be a shirt, and you know, this is his head, you know, so we would have to probably do braids for him or something. I'm not sure. I'm not sure which version. I think we're doing the younger version. Right, I did it so that his hairpiece could come out, and we could probably swap the hairpiece. That's kind of like my idea behind that. So one time he has the braids, the other time he has his hair out, you know. At least that was my idea. He needs a little bit of a mustache. Yeah, I just realized that he doesn't have that mustache. Let's get it done. Let's see. We simply extract some of this here, right, into its own thing. Now this is subdivision surfaces, guys. And I'll go ahead, do that. Step, select back the mustache type thing, and we could start working on this. The ideal thing would be to have this shrink wrap onto the model like we did the eyebrows and everything. So deform, shrink wrap, I'm going to select that. Okay, yes, mustache should come apart like that. Okay, yeah. So this is just me. One thing about I had kind of get accustomed to, and probably you guys, probably it's not applicable today, is being able to model in 3D space and not just like on the side views, you know, in the orthographic views. Excuse me. Yeah. So that was a thing to get accustomed to when modeling human beings. When you're modeling like other things like man-made structures, like say if you're modeling like a kitchen cabinet, or you're modeling like a truck or a van or car, you don't need to necessarily, I mean it's probably advisable, but you don't need to necessarily model it in like 3D space. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and just kind of get his mustache kind of somewhat down a little bit. Let's do this. Okay, so that's good. So you guys know that, you know, I talk a lot about the Lord, about Jesus. I talk a lot, well, I try, well, not a lot, but I do talk about it here on the channel. And, you know, some people say, well, you know, you're sharing your faith and all that. But to me, you know, it's a reality that we all have to face at some point or the other, right? Which the reality is that, you know, we all, you know, would pass on at some point and go to a different place, right? And you know, sometimes it's good to go out there and kind of seek answers about that, right? And so, you know, what happens when I die, you know, or you know, if you have a loved one that passed away, you know, it's so easy, you know, and there's so many different you know, ideas about that, out there, you know. And the thing is that, you know, it's all comes down to what they call a worldview, right? How you view the world, how do you see things in the world? You know, how do you think things happen? You know, that's kind of like the thing that people think about. You know, how you think the world was formed. You know, do you think it exploded out of nothing? Right? Do you think that, you know, it's a happy accident? Or, you know, there's so many different things, you know, there. But what I've come to learn, you know, what I realized from reading the Bible, right? And also looking into creation, I realized that, you know, everything has a designer, right? Somebody made something somewhere. Even a human being. Somebody made you know, two people came together, you know, hopefully in love. And even if it wasn't, you know, we're all glad to be here, you know, to experience this world, right? We should be. If you're not, you know, you just gotta think about that a little bit, you know. I mean, there's so many cool things to enjoy in life. It doesn't matter how you got here. But, this is a lot better here, you know. So it's basically how you wanna view life, kind of thing. So if you see life as something special that was created and that kind of thing for mankind to experience, you know, the beauty of a place, you're gonna see where there has to be a creator, you know. And who is that person, you know? And that's something you can investigate, you know. Don't take my word for it, you know. So, you know, xsinick is just trying to push Christianity, you know, and stuff like. No, I'm not trying to push anything on anyone. All I'm doing is trying to push polygons. That's what I'm trying to push, guys. No, yeah, I'm not doing that at all. But, you know, it's good to have a different perspective on things, and just be careful, you know. You know, don't go into things that'll hurt you, or don't dabble into things that could hurt others, you know. That's all I got to say. But yeah, coming back to that a little bit, I mean, that's all I got to say about that part. But yeah, it's all to do with, like, you know, your worldview, how life is being portrayed to you as a person, you know, what you've learned, you know, from school or church or wherever you are. You know, I would say put it, you know, check it out, put it to the test, you know, see if what you believe is true, see if it yields good results for not only yourself, for others around you, because it's so easy to focus on just yourself. But you know, if it's helping, you know, and not helping in a kind of you know, glossy, superficial sense, helping in a real sense. Is the person better off? Is the person better off for believing in Jesus, you know? Is the person better off for loving their neighbor? Is the person better off for, like, you know, seeking the interest, you know, seeking clean and godly interest, you know, and instead of materialism, you know, too much materialism, you know, like, it's probably not a good thing, right? So things like that. Are their health improving, you know? These are some of the things you could check out, you know. And even if, you know, you have health problems, is it to a point where you could see healing, you know, stuff like that, you know? Or does it bring peace, you know? That's a big deal in today's society. Peace, a lot of people don't have it, you know. I didn't realize, you know, I was basically locked in an office doing 3D all day. I'm just joking. But, you know, I come to realize a lot of people just don't have peace, you know. that kind of thing, you know. And I'm not saying that I always had peace, but I didn't realize so many people also did not have peace when it comes to certain things. You know, and that's not good, you know. I don't think that's how human beings should live. You know, we should definitely live where we have some level of peace in our life, right? And you know, being able to share that peace, you know, with other people is definitely the way we should go, for sure. Okay, I'm using here, this is called the this here is called the proportional editing. When you turn that on, you get like and you press F. Oh, wait a minute, not F, hold on, let's put the screen cap keys on. Okay, alrighty. Yeah, we have a bunch of characters we need to finish in Blender, guys. So let's see, not F. When you press G, you get this circle thing, and you can scroll your mouse wheel to make it smaller, and you can scroll the other way to make it bigger. I'm gonna make it about that big. I'm gonna use this to kind of tweak, you know, the look of the look of this this so-called mustache on this character. In this picture, he's very serious, but I don't think, like, you know, maybe the main thing should be like overly serious. Especially if kids are going to play with it. You don't want anything, you know, you don't want to look overly menacing, but just, you know, serious enough, but not menacing or scary. Okay, yeah, he looks all, you know, like, okay, you know, I'm focusing on, I'm about to pay taxes, you know, so I'm focused. Just joking. Okay, so that's a little something. I think maybe the mustache needs to be a little wider, actually. Yeah, boy. That's how it's supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to be. All right. Okay, so I think this is okay here for now. So yeah, look at how we just started working on this thing. Maybe his eyebrows look a little too Spocky, you know, like too much like Mr. Spock. Let's make this brush a little bigger. Just want to bring this back down a bit, give him a little more of a less pointy point. There we go. Yeah, make it okay. That's a little bit nicer. You know, kind of fixed it there a little bit. Okay, so yeah, this guy McConan goes on to do really nice things for his save a lot of people and that kind of thing in the story. There is a comic book out on this. You guys could check that out on Amazon Kindle. It's called McConan Epic. Check it out. And we'll probably dive a little bit more into it. And as you know, we have Epic Showcase. So I'll see if I could get Jerome to come in. We did one with him some time back, but we'll see if we could get him to come in again to do an epic showcase of all his books, of all his comics, and everything that he's into. Guys, I'm going to see if I can make that happen. But in the meantime, stay blendering, stay drawing, stay sculpting, you know, stay animating. you know, stay frosty. Hey guys, God is good. I'll see you guys in a little bit. XSI and XSI Nikki, we're out, and we'll see you guys in the next stream. God bless you. Bye bye.